Oh, what's up, guys? It's your boy Randu. Aha! Subscribe to the channel. In the last one, I wanted to cover sprite animation. In the last episode, that's what I was going to do in it. So I'm just jump right into it. Saying, but I want to show off something real quick. You know what I'm saying? It's a little trick I use. You know what I mean? It's called Git version control. You know, where I'm going to add the last version. I'm going to upload it. You understand? To GitHub. You know what I mean? I'm going to show you how to do that real quick. So you basically just type git add dot, then you add git commit m, and you basically write down what you did. You know what I'm saying? So in the last version we updated enemy sprite from sprite sheet. You see how like it just changed a little, you know what I'm saying? And then you do git push. So this is a really good way of managing each version of your game, right? So let's just say you have a feature that you added that you, for some reason, want to remove, but you don't have any earlier versions of your game. Using git version control, right? Using the git bash terminal will make it easier for you to revert your game back. Like my voice keeps breaking. Using the git version control will allow you to revert your game back to its original version, like the version where it didn't have the feature that you didn't want. You see that? You see that? You see that? You see how quick that was? You know what I'm saying? We only made a few changes in the last episode, you know what I mean? So nothing too, dramatic. You know what I'm saying? All I really did was just ramble and then change the enemy sprite velocity. But anyway, I'm gonna just hop right into it. I was saying I'm gonna cover sprite animation today. So basically, the whole goal for this is, let me just put this on full screen real quick. So basically, we have the enemy sprite image. This is what it looks like, right? It's literally just going back and forth. Okay, in fact, I'm going to slow it down a little. So the velocity is 5, change it to like 3, right? Is that, yeah, I think that's a bit too fast. You know what I mean? Let me just make it like 2, you know. There you go, yeah. I mean, like, if you have a fix, Jesus, I don't know why Sonic is so important. Jesus Christ. If you have a fix for that little box, you know what I'm saying? I tried to set the color key, you know what I mean? But for some reason, right, it's just not, you know what I mean? It's not, it's just, actually, let me try and set the color key here and see if that fixes it. Right, so my logic is real simple. Right, before I scale the image, you know what I'm saying? Right, I set the color key. So that way, as soon as the image gets loaded, the color key is set, which removes the background color. Right, and then, yeah, that should work, hopefully. Yeah, it's not working. I think that I think I get it now. That's a pain in the ass, bro. That's a game breaking glitch right there. That's a game breaking glitch right there. It's a game breaking glitch. Oh my, this man. Oh my days. Let's not see now. It has some sort of like it's playable, but it's just there's so many bugs. It's not even funny. So anyway, let's just because I just want to fix this. I just want to finish this game because this was a practice game. To try and see whether or not I could actually make one. But now I kind of just want to move on, you know. I want to go off and make my own actual, and try selling it. You know what I mean? That'll be fun, you know. Like I don't know what I'm going to create, man. You know, so I have a couple of ideas. But anyway, let me just stop procrastinating. Just get right into it. I'm trying to find the enemy sprite. Okay, so here. So basically, how this code works, right, is that it checks whether or not the player is moving right. So whenever the velocity decreases, it means that the player is moving left. And whenever the velocity increases, it means it's moving right. So here we're checking if the player is moving right? And if the player's x position plus their velocity is less than the total path. And so the path, right, is less than, not the total path, sorry, the path's second value, right, because it should be here. Yeah, so the path value is this. It's the current x. So the start position is obviously on the left, right? So if the player's path, right, the player's total path is basically 100 pixels, right? Moving left to right from left to right by 100 pixels. So this is hard to find. Okay, so basically this is the right position, the end of the path. Alright, so if the player's x position plus their total velocity is less than the right, add basically increase the player's velocity, not the player's, sorry, the enemy's velocity, and then if it's not, then you multiply its velocity by -1, and that basically tells it to go in the opposite direction. And so the same principle applies in this else statement here. So now what I want to do is try and figure out how I can get the animation to switch from left to right so that it looks like the crab is, scaling from left to right. So I should have the images for that somewhere around here. Right, let me just open it up in the folder. Yeah, okay. Because you can see how the legs are moving. me just close these. You see that how its legs are lifted up. So like it's been a while since I made these images, right? I didn't really make them. I took them off the internet, but you know what I mean. So I just want to understand how the animation works before I actually try and like write it in code. So let's just try and like flip through this. So you start with this, 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 then this, then this, then this. So wait, what I could do instead of that, because it's like he has a very weird way of walking. And what I could do is just I get it to just flip through. You know what I mean, regardless of whether or not it's walking left or right. So I'll just do that then. I'll just do that. And then I'll just get it to run. Okay, yeah. And I'll do that then. So I'll basically just break it down step by step. So in the first step, I guess to adding this animation, it'd be to create an animate function, right? So def animate self. So I'm basically just gonna copy some of the code from before because I can't be bothered to rewrite this. And so basically it's like this. Wait, no, where's the animate function? Here, okay, no. So that's one of the first things I need. I need a flag, right? Actually, no, I don't need a flag actually, because the animation is constant. Yeah, it just goes on regardless of whether or not anything is happening. So I guess like what I'll do is I'll just flip through. So I'll create a list. Do I have access to the game? Okay, no I don't. Okay, so self game. Because in another video, in the I created a Pygame Sonic clone video. I talked about how you can make a reference to the game, right? So that way you can access certain values from the class in this class, because two classes can't share the same scope, so you need to make a reference, right, to the other class using some sort of well, it's hard. I don't using some sort of like a parameter, right? And so basically, in order for this to work, I need to go back into the here. Basically, where is it here? And just add the reference. So basically, whenever an enemy is created, it creates a reference to the game class. So that way, I can access, because in the game class is where I've loaded all of the enemies' images, right? Each frame of the animation. And so if I was to try and reference it from the enemy class without referencing the game class, it won't work. So basically, I just need to create a list. If len self.game. This is how you access the value or the variable or whatever you call that from the class. So self.game.enemy underscore images. Oh, come on, quit playing with me. Quit playing with me, bro. Enemy underscore images is no. So I need to go over this step by step. You know what? Because it's like I don't want complete silence, but I need complete silence in order to just focus. So just give me a minute, right? Just a minute of complete silence, just think. And then I'll go through it and then just explain every step. So self.current underscore frame equals 0. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's see if this works. Sorry about the chat. This chat. The chat's terrible. Alright. Let's do this. There must have been an issue somewhere. Self.game images. Wait, where is it? 9350. What? It worked somewhere. Yes. Yes, okay, now. Here's where I made my mistake. I didn't make a reference or full reference to the game. So basically, when you make a reference, right, you have to create that reference as a class attribute. I'm not even sure if I'm using the term correctly, but you just basically have to do this, or else it won't work. Now there's another issue. Yes. Okay, now. The main reason I keep saying yes is because every mistake gets me closer and closer to getting it to work the way I want it to. So it's a good sign if you're making mistakes whilst you're making, it's a good sign. Okay. You have a lot of game developers or programmers that are afraid of making mistakes because they don't want to look incompetent. I don't care. Right? So you ain't paying me for this, so you go fuck yourself if you think that what do you call that? I forget. Let's see if this works. Now there's another problem. Oh yeah, of course I spelled transform wrong. I hope you noticed that. I hope you noticed that. It's because I made like 4 mistakes. Oh, this is nothing. Okay, it's working. So there's a little bit of an issue here. Like the image has changed, but I think I get what the frame itself isn't really, changing. Because it's like, so basically, here's the logic. I create a function, an animate function. So it checks for I in game underscore enemy images, game dot enemy underscore images, and this is a list containing all of the different frames of the animation. Then I create a variable that keeps track of what frame of the animation we're on. Then I'm checking to see if the current frame is less than the length, in other words the total amount of images in the list, because obviously if it goes over, right, we'll get an index error, right, and that could end up breaking the game. So you basically just want to make sure that the current frames doesn't go over the total amount of frames if that makes sense. Yeah, it does make sense. So basically then I set the image to the current frame. Then I set the color key, and then I scale the image, and then I update the current frame. But there's a better way of doing this. There's always a better way. There's always a better way to do this. See, when I was animating the running animation, like, it was like this. And so I think that the main issue right now, or at least I'm theorizing because I'm not quite sure, is that the current frame is updating, you know, too quickly, or it's just not updating at all. Ba-ba. Exactly. That's interesting. This is a lot harder than I thought it would be. Okay, let me just try and test out something. Like, I just want to see, you know, what type of effect this would have. Because if we get an error, right, that like a so basically, like, indexes aren't floats, right? Indexes are integers. Like, an index in a list is an integer, not a float. So I want to see if I get an error for this. Because if that's the case, then it means that the loop is registering. Yes. Okay. Okay. It's picking up on the list. Okay. On the loop. So let's try this. Int self.parent_frame. And so the purpose of this is, right, because my theory is that as soon as the game loads, it loops through all of the images into the list, and that's why it doesn't look like it's animating. So basically, using 0.01 will slow down the animation, because for every iteration, right, it has to go through 0.00001, 002, etc. in order to get to the end of the list. So basically it takes longer, and so the animation looks smoother. See, like, you see how it's animating and then it stops. It stops. So I need to figure out a way in which I can get the animation to loop. See, we're making progress, right? We're making progress. Okay. Progress, my friends. Progress. Okay. So the plan here is simple. Just check to see if the list itself, if the current frame surpasses, if basically the value of self.current frame is higher than the length of the list. And if that's the case, reset the current frame to 0. Okay. Yep. Well, for some reason it just stopped. This is a pain. Well, I think I have an idea. Okay, I have an idea. Because, okay, so I'm going to print self.current underscore frame so that when the animation stops, I can see just what the value is and then see what change I need to make. So there's 7 images, right? And so it stops at 6.9999. You see that it stops right there. So there's 7 images, right? 7 images. So it looped through all 7 images. So I think that here's the issue, yeah, because it will never really surpass. Yeah, because I printed self.current underscore frame. Because like if I was to like do it like this, right, and then restart it, the number would never really surpass the length of the list, right? It'll stop at, okay, so it does surpass it here. So okay, so now I know what I need to do. Okay, so basically, if self.current underscore frame is more than or equal to the length of the self.game enemy underscore images self.current underscore frame equals 0. Then instead of doing it inside here, actually no, I should do it inside there. Let's see if we can get to loop. Okay, so it's not really looping. How about like that? Yeah, okay, it's working now. So you can see that. And so just like conveniently, right? Conveniently, you see how it just conveniently looks like it's walking back and forth. Right, that wasn't my intent. That wasn't my intent, but it looks like it's shimmying. You know what I'm saying? Back and forth. It's just shimmying back and forth. So we did it. We did it, boys. Mission accomplished. You know what I'm saying? Man, hugs and kisses. We did it. Saying we finally got the enemy to animate. In the next video, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. I don't know. So I'm gonna cover the platforms. You know what I'm saying? Adding some ground because we can't just have this green bar. Okay. Like these green boxes and these red boxes just ain't gonna cut it. You know what I'm saying? We need something proper. You know? Something nice and prim, you know what I mean? Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel, man. Quit playing with me. Deuces.